Welcome back to Jaze Oracle. I'm your host, Jay. Let's get started. Taurus. So we're back with the O spread. So, just a heads up. Mars should be direct now. Your ambitions should be coming back. And Mercury is about to go retrograde. Probably pretty soon in March all the way into April, so get ready for that. But let's take a look here at the O spread, and in the first house, let's take a look at the first house. Go ahead, let me give you a little bit of time to look at the spread in general. Take a look at the spread. It's going from first house to 12th house. Inside is the advice and the root energy, and just take a quick look. Okay, so a little quick review. The first house is identity. This is you, your personality, your physicality, how you look. Associations: fire, wands, Aries, Mars. You got the 7 of Wands reversed. So let's hear some details about certain things here. So the 7 is the number of wisdom, as well as the completion of a cycle or phase within a cycle. It represents completion, completeness, safety, victory, and rest after achieving a meaningful ambition or a milestone. It is also a mystical number that represents wisdom and spiritual growth. There are 7 notes on a musical scale, 7 colors in the rainbow, 7 planets in traditional astrology. We are in a state of extreme happiness and balance when we are in 7th heaven. It's like the feeling of relief after a long exhale. There's also 7 chakras, main chakras that people are aware of, 7 days of the week. But for the 7 of Wands, you got it reversed. So let me see what kind of information I could give you here. Purpose and value are 2 attributes of the number 7, both of which are depicted on this card. The 7 of Wands depicts a brave man with a wand fighting 6 other wands that rise to attack him. It symbolizes competition and conflict that appears overwhelming at first. However, the man stays focused on his mission or purpose and triumphs. The card indicates that a successful career change is likely. However, strength and determination are required to achieve success. It is also possible that stiff competition will be confronted in business, but perseverance and courage will triumph in the end. This card represents knowledge and incorporates skills. It can represent an excellent teacher, training, lecturing, or writing. But once again, you got it reversed. It says time to retreat and wait for an opportune moment. Opportunities thrown away due to fear. And that is in your first house of identity. This is you, your personality, your physicality, and how you look. So you might want to be aware of that, Taurus. I guess apparently at this particular moment you are looking like you're retreating and waiting for an opportune moment, and you're looking like you're throwing away opportunities due to fear. The next house is the second house. It's resources. This is your self-worth, your possessions, your money, and how you earn it. It's associated with Earth, Pentacles, Taurus, and Venus. And you got the 8 of Cups reversed. Let's take a quick look here at 8. The number 8 represents regeneration and the balancing of opposing forces. It symbolizes the death of the old, which is evil or wrong, and the birth of the new, which is pure and just. It enables situations to be modified, as well as addressing what was out of balance, unfair, or unjust. The number 8 acts as a thruster. Decisions will have a cascading effect that will be felt almost immediately. To grow in wisdom, one must die a little each day, letting go of old ideas, habits, and ways of thinking as they become obsolete. Also, if you turn 8 on its side, it's the infinity symbol, the same symbol that's above the magician's head in the magician card. Now, you got the Eight of Cups reversed. So a man walks away from 8 cups, demonstrating his concern over a relationship he thought about considerably because they're neatly stacked. However, he abandons them completely and heads toward a mountain, symbolizing his determination to find a new destination or relationship, no matter how far it is. The moon in the sky above is in both full and waning quarters, indicating the end of one cycle and the start of another. The card represents letting go of the past, abandoning a situation due to disappointment or disillusionment. Although a great deal of thought and effort has gone into creating a situation or a relationship, it is not right, and the seeker has no choice but to leave. And you got it reversed. So a person following a fantasy, not seeing the reality of their situation, but rather indulging in emotions. Situation can lead to depression, stagnating due to indulging emotions without rational thinking and considering facts. You got that in your second house of your self-worth, your possessions, your money. So you could be indulging in fantasies about your self-worth and your money. This could be leading to depression, as well as stagnation due to indulging emotions without rational thinking and considering facts. Right now is a strange time, Taurus. The planets are in a strange way. Pretty soon there's going to be a parade of planets at the end of the month of February. Actually, so you're getting this in March, so that already happened. But the first half of this year has the planets doing a lot of strange things, and Neptune is a big factor in what's going on. And Neptune is the planet of fantasy, imagination, as well as delusion. It can lead to a lot of delusion. You need to temper your brain and control your fantasizing, as well as manage your emotions, because they could get out of control and jump onto a fantasy idea and lead you into this weird state where you walk away from something that maybe you shouldn't be walking away from. So keep that in mind, Taurus. Now, in the third house, you got the 3 of Swords. That's pretty interesting, right? So let's, what's the third house about? Communication and knowledge. What you know, your early learning style, your siblings, your neighbors, your short or routine journeys, your environment. Associations: Air, Swords, Gemini, and Mercury. And you got the 3 of Swords. Let's take a look at 3 really quick. What are the 3s about? Let's see. The number 3. The number 3 represents the Empress, as well as progress and expansion. The number 2 represents the 2 partners who collaborate on a proposal or a project. The number 3 sees the collaboration through to completion. It represents the initial completion and achievement of the first phase. And you got the 3 of Swords. This card's picture makes it self-explanatory. The background is gloomy, indicating stormy weather ahead. Together, the heart and the swords indicate profound emotional and mental turmoil. As a result of this disappointment, there may be quarrels or separations. However, as swift as the swords are, a flash of insight might occur, allowing the person concerned to put this disappointment and sorrow into perspective and begin to heal. Even though this is a sorrowful time, there is a serene clearing of the ground or the beginning of something new. There is a sense of clearing the ground or the beginning of something new. Swords are symbolic of a person's thinking and perception, and therefore imply that challenges in a relationship or a degree of disappointment and sorrow can be overcome if confronted with honesty. Emotional quarrels and separation. Love affair ends due to one of the partners being unfaithful. And you got this in the third house of communication and knowledge. So it's possible that there's been some bad communication. It's possible you've been learning something improperly. Your siblings could be breaking your heart with something, and they might have misled you. Your neighbors could be miscommunicating and misleading you and letting you down. Your short routine and journeys could be unfulfilling and a waste of time, and your environment could be letting you down. So keep that in mind, Taurus. So now we're moving on to the 4th house, and you got the King of Cups, and the 4th house is home and family. This is where you live, your attachments, your roots, your structure, your history, your domestic life, and your emotional security. It's associated with water, cups, Cancer, and the moon. Let's look at kings really quick. Kings are the male counterparts of queens, and in readings represent men. They, like queens, represent authority in each respective suit. You might notice that the queens appear more relaxed on their throne, while the kings are poised for action and respect for their suits. This enforces the traditionally held view of feminine principle being one of flexibility, passivity, or openness, while the masculine is about action and accountability. Actions have consequences. These historical archetypes are an invitation to integrate both aspects harmoniously. Both are needed and complement each other. And you got the King of Cups, the King of Cups sits atop a throne, seemingly uneasy as he overlooks stormy seas. A fish leaps over the waves in the distance, however, he is oblivious to it. The golden fish around his neck represents his creative imagination. It seems to be a hollow token compared to the vibrant imagination behind him. His feet do not contact the water, implying that he wants to connect with his unconscious emotions, unlike his queen, who effortlessly blends into the waves. Despite being the master of emotions, his frequent mood swings, symbolized by the stormy water under his throne, imply that he is not fully connected to his element, that he is somewhat troubled by expressing his emotions and feelings, or is duty-bound to make others happy. Masculinity is generally associated with conscious cognition and intellect. However, this king seems uncomfortable in the world of emotions. Rather than express his true feelings, he tends to pay lip service to them. If the King of Cups appears in a spread, it represents an aspect of the private personality behind the image. It indicates that the man concerned is having difficulty connecting with his genuine feelings. Balanced and caring, mature, kind, and in a high position. In the spread, the King of Cups represents a man with light hair or a light complexion. So it's possible that you're having trouble with some of your emotions in your family life, or you're processing emotions, or you have a lot of emotions going on. This is a highly emotional family situation you're having at home. Could have to do with your roots too. You're looking back at your roots and the structure you built in your house and your life and your history and your domestic life. Now, I'm not surprised, even though you're definitely probably a balanced and caring, mature person, but I wouldn't be surprised if you are having an emotional time right now. Lots of people are. The moon is in, well, this is March, so the moon is probably, I don't know if it's still coming off that full moon in Leo or not, but that full moon in Leo in February was pretty heavy. There's a lot of emotions going on in general because of Neptune and Pisces, and so everybody's probably pretty emotional right now. So don't be too hard on yourself if you feel like excessive emotions are sort of leading you, but just keep that in mind. Now for the 5th house, you got the World. The 5th house is all about creativity and children, the things we give birth to and take risks on. This is where we play, fall in love, and create. Associations, fire, wands, Leo, and the sun. And the World is total integration. This is the final stage of the Fool's development into his full potential. The Fool floats like a fetus amidst the now circling oval wreath in the World. This is the concluding card of the Fool's adventure. In contrast to his image as the Fool card, number 0, the small wreath over his hat at the beginning expanded to the large wreath he floats in, implying mystical existence. The four corner figures represent the four elements and four seasons. We have a complete circle in which all the minor cycles are linked to this long cycle of renewal. In a reading, the world denotes the successful completion of a period of achievement and the beginning of a cycle of harmony and fulfillment. The world makes the beginning of a new cycle, presenting the Fool as a fetus who is about to be birthed, albeit on a different level. In a reading, this card denotes the completion of a significant cycle or stage of life. Achievement and recognition are due. It signifies success, fame, harmonious living, fulfillment, receiving an award, or the next cycle of expansion. It is time to celebrate and embrace recognition. It also announces a significant promotion or beneficial job change. Here's a bonus. Performing on stage, publishing, successful art exhibitions, expanded online presence, extensive travel, intelligent wisdom, further expansion of awareness, and self-mastery. So that's really good. That's in your 5th house of creativity and children. So you're gonna be publishing, Taurus. You're gonna be on stage. You're gonna have successful art exhibitions, extensive travel, intelligent wisdom, further expansion, maybe even a better job. So that's great to hear, Taurus, in the month of March. That's right, March, right? So now let's move on to the 6th house, which is the house of work and service. This is your health and habits, your responsibilities, the mundane work that you do, and those who do work for you. Associations, Earth, Pentacles, Virgo, and Mercury. And you got strength. Strength, the healer. This card, strength, represents the female aspect of the hermit, the wise feminine sages. She advises the Fool to trust his inner power, increase his confidence, and use his limitless inner resources to oppose human cravings. Desires of the lower ego or of the personality must be kept under control. There is no use of undue force or aggression about this strength. It's all about the feminine charm and tenderness. Strength teaches the Fool spiritual alchemy or self-transformation on a higher level, as the Empress did with gentle and caring love. The image of a human battling the King of Beasts appears in several tarot decks, and it represents man's fight to control his animal impulses. The woman wears flowers in her hair and is taming the lion and laying a garland around its neck in the Strength card. The woman, like the Empress, has lovely golden hair and wears a white gown to symbolize spiritual purity. So far, we got a glimpse of the Fool's youth as we went through the major cards. He had his first training from the Magician. We met his earthly parents, the Empress and the Emperor, and then his spiritual guides or heavenly parents, the High Priestess and the Hierophant. We learned about the Fool's struggles and vulnerability when he fell in love with the Lover's card, and he mastered his thoughts and feelings to find balance and continue conquering opposites in the Chariot card. When he gets to justice, he has to do more than just act and respond. He needed to think about things objectively. The Hermit urged him to look for meaning in his own life. With the Wheel of Fortune, his mindset shifts even more as he realizes that he remains vulnerable. He can rise and fall, but it is out of this control because such are cycles of life. Now he needs strength to provide him with the self-control, dignity, and courage he needs to confront the next phase of the journey to the underworld. Strength helps him undergo an even more profound transformation, but in a gentle manner. The tarot path does not ignore sensual or sexual urges as it intensifies. The Fool learns the ability to regulate, discipline, and weigh those components within himself that will bring healing and unification of man and spirit. Better times are on the way, Taurus. This is your chance to prove your inner strength and wisdom. You will prevail over life's hardships if you have the fortitude to endure. A beloved animal could enter your life. If you have relationship difficulties, open your heart, forgive and forget. Be sodded with an older woman recovering from illness. And here's a bonus: healing on a deep level. A person who has healing abilities. Animal communication skills. Someone who specializes in conflict resolution. Accomplished personality. Woman of substance and impact who is charismatic, self-assured and grounded. A mentor. So you got strength in the 6th house, which is work and service, which is your health and habits. So you're strong, and you're gonna you've either been going through healing, or you're gonna be going through even more healing. So that's very good news. And your responsibilities are also being strengthened and sharpened. So keep that in mind, and let's move on to the next house. The next house, the 7th house, is relationships. This is where you interact with others and how. Committed romantic or business partnerships and openly declared enemies are represented here. Associations are Air, Swords, Libra, and Venus. Okay, Taurus, for the 7th house, for relationships, you got the 9 of Swords. Let's take a look at the 9s really quick. This is the Wish card. It represents the fulfillment. I'm sorry, that's the 9 of Cups. My bad, sorry. The 9s. Before starting a new cycle with the Ace, you must complete 9 rounds. It denotes the end of one phase and the start of a new one. Ace. The number 9 represents resurrection and things that need to be gathered before completion. It also represents the culmination of all previous stages, such as preparation, knowledge gathering, and skill honing. It represents laying a solid foundation before the 10th step, which is the final completion. And Taurus, you got the 9 of Swords. This card looks worse than what it represents. A sleepless woman sits up in bed holding her head in her hands, anticipating gloom and doom. She seems to be in despair. Next to her, 9 swords are suspended, and on her bed panel, 2 swordsmen are fighting. The signs of the zodiac embroidered on her quilt indicate that she has been feeling this for a long while. However, the swords do not touch her, indicating that her fears are unfounded and are perhaps caused by her negative thinking or state of mind. Covering her eyes, she indicates that she is not facing her situation. Her fears about her difficulties are worse than the reality of the situation. Extreme stress is indicated, and that is making her lose sleep. Nonetheless, no matter how difficult a situation seems, she must face her fears and decide as quickly and swiftly as the swords, because her worries are paralyzing and far worse than the outcome. Distress, mental stress or illness, nightmares, fear and anxiety due to overthinking and worrying, which might lead to feeling oppressed. And you got that for the 7th house, relationships. This is where you interact with others and how. Committed romantic or business partnerships, as well as openly declared enemies. So you could be overthinking and overanalyzing something to the point where it's stressing you out and it's making you think that there are worse things going on than what are actually going on, Taurus. So you might want to take a step back and truly see if all these negative thoughts you're having, which, you know, a lot of people have it happens all the time, we all go through it, but it's possible you could be deluding yourself with ideas about things, and they're really not as bad as you think they are. And if this is what's happening, I'm gonna tell you, Neptune and Pisces are the culprits in this. Neptune has that fantastical, fantasy, delusional element to it that will take you on positive highs and negative lows. So be aware that it's possible you're being affected by delusional energies. And the next house is the 8th house, and that is the tough stuff. This house represents the things we don't want to talk about: death, taxes, inheritances. It's also joint resources, other people's money, sex and transformation, associations, water, cup, Scorpio, and Pluto. And you got the High Priestess, the unseen, intuition. The Magician may have imagination, a process, and logic. What he lacks is intuition, which is represented by the High Priestess. Here, the Fool. Now, the Magician is faced with the unknown. He must learn to acknowledge and develop his psychic instinct. Astrologers associate the High Priestess with the Moon, the ruler of the night. The card also depicts the subconscious. So, the ethereal quality is a metaphor for unrealized potential. The treasures of the unconscious mind are brought to consciousness through the High Priestess. She can also signify a link to the occult and the esoteric, as well as heightened hearing or mediumship. The unseen or unknown alludes to hidden talents and potential that must be revealed. The waxing and waning moon is represented by the silver crown on her head with the full orb in the center. The spiritual celestial mother and heightened feminine perceptive nature are represented by this card. When this card occurs in a spread, it means that something hidden or unknown is about to be disclosed. It also represents unconscious beliefs, fear, or emotions, as well as the ability to seek advice through dreams. It represents mediumship and psychic abilities, as well as a curiosity in mystical and esoteric studies and the development of feminine abilities of intuition and natural insight. This card urges you to explore your unconscious and the meaning of your dreams. As an outcome card, it indicates that the future or outcome is undetermined. Be patient and wait for the proper timing. Furthermore, it can signify a pregnant woman, depending on where it occurs in a spread. And here's a bonus. This is a sensitive person who is greatly awakened. Artist, channeler, musician, medium, healer, or mental healer are all terms used to describe people who work with their higher mind. A diplomat or peacemaker, they enjoy a higher sense of perception and gentleness and have the ability to perceive the wants and needs of others. Also, it represents someone who makes an excellent counselor. So you got that in the 8th house. So something about death, inheritances, taxes, transformation, other people's money, that's going to be surfacing. It seems like it's wanting to come out. So you need to be aware of that, Taurus. Prepare for that. On to the next house, the 9th house, which is expansion and beliefs. This house is about expanding your mind, your horizons, your knowledge, your belief systems. It's religion, philosophy, travel, adventure, law, and the learning we do because we want to. It's associated with fire, wands, Sagittarius, and Jupiter. And you got the 5 of Wands. So let's look at the 5s real quick. 5 represents flexibility and openness, the opposite of structure and conformity. It is also the midpoint of the cycle from 1 to 10 and represents changes of circumstance and any struggle or obstacles that may arise. Change brings new circumstance, so the 5s are about adapting or modifying behavior, plans, thoughts, and feelings. Although lack of structure brings uncertainty, flexibility is required because it allows for adjusting behaviors, actions, thoughts, and feelings to achieve what you yearn for and fulfill our destiny. In other words, 5s in the minor cards imply change. A situation is not permanent, but is open to negotiation and can develop. It represents a minor cycle of change within the tarot theme of evolution and progress. And Taurus, for March, For your O spread, you got the Five of Wands. This card depicts 5 young men carrying large wands. It suggests a conflict in life, business, or love. This card also represents little temporary annoyances and roadblocks in communication and plans. When these obstacles are overcome, the situation can improve. However, at the moment, nothing appears to be working out. Negotiations and competition. So there could be some conflicts internally. You could have conflicts internally regarding religion, philosophy, travel. You could have actual external conflicts in the law. You could have conflicts in the learning, what you're learning. It could feel on your mind and belief systems and learning could be expanding, and it could feel very uncomfortable and conflicting. You could have some people are raised in a certain household that has certain religious beliefs, and then they grow older and they learn other things, and sometimes the other things they learn makes them raise questions about what they were born into and what they've been raised to believe, and it produces a huge conflict internally. This could be taking place. This could be taking place with you. You could have conflicts that are starting to arise inside of you regarding religious beliefs, the philosophy. You could have conflicts with travel. I wouldn't doubt it at all, because most people are probably going to have a lot of conflicts with travel at this point. It's a strange time. There's a lot of conflict going on in the world and in America, and including the different organizations that are supposed to be serving the people are radically changing right now, and that has produced a lot of confusion, and it could be producing conflict, and that could include travel. So just keep that in mind, Taurus. So now let's move on to the 10th house, which is the house of career. This is your career, your reputation, you in the world, your public persona, your social responsibilities. Associated with Earth, Pentacles, Capricorn, and Saturn. You are related to Capricorn, Taurus. And for the 10th house, you got the Knight of Pentacles. This is a great card, Taurus. Let's look at the Knights real quick. The Knights represent a stage in the Fool's development as he progresses from a page to a magician, and then to a king or queen. They represent energy and action and symbolize the creative, emotional, and mental and tangible results. The Fool, which is how we all start off on this tarot experience. The Fool achieves as the 4 aspects of his personality evolve. In a reading, they represent youths, older than pages, who are on the lookout for ways to express themselves by identifying their innate strengths and capabilities. And you got the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles differs from the other 3 knights in a significant way. His horse is pictured patiently studying their surroundings in a recently plowed field. Results are emerging. The image is serene. This knight possesses boundless patience and tolerance. Furthermore, he is nice and trustworthy and will complete a task no matter how long it takes. He never fails to achieve his objectives because he never gives up. Others seek out his attributes of endurance and capacity for honest effort. Sounds like Taurus to me. And it's in the house of Capricorn. Sounds like Capricorn to me. And Saturn. This is a finance-oriented, analytical, and slow-moving, dark-haired young man. Someone who is methodical, reliable, and logical. This person is sensible, systematic, and stable in his approach, and he can be trusted. In a spread, he signifies a happy outcome of a situation, particularly business ventures that have gone on for a long time or appeared unfruitful at first. This is in your career house, your reputation, you in the world, your public persona, your social responsibilities. So you're looking really good, Taurus. You are looking better than everybody else in your career right now. So now let's move on to the next house, which is the 11th house, which is the house of friends and community, how we find your hopes and dreams. Here we find your hopes and dreams, your friends, your associations, and your social life. It's associated with air, swords, Aquarius, and Uranus. And you got the Page of Pentacles in the 11th house. So let's look at the pages real quick. The pages in each minor card suit represent a younger fool. They illustrate everyday happenings in the development stage of the fool. Each court card suit highlights a different facet of the fool's developing personality. Pages are youngsters or adolescents who, depending on the suit to which they belong in a reading, reflect youthful potential, dreams, and other characteristics. They encapsulate the tender qualities of a young fool, which must be nourished for them to mature. Pages are messengers who announce the timing and seasons as well as news of any type. In a reading, take note of the page's corresponding element to get ideas for an event's timing. And you got the Page of Pentacles in the 11th house. This card represents a young individual who is studious or financially savvy. If you've just started a project, it could also mean profit or minor winnings. This is a youth who is inquisitive and has financial intelligence. So in your community and your friends, your hopes and dreams are of this youthful quality, a good message of financial savvy. Okay? And you're associated with these people, and this is also you. This is a good group that you have around you, Taurus. Hopefully so, because I mean, at this moment in time, it's saying that your friends and community are the Page of Pentacles, and that's a great card. It's very youthful. It could be a little bit less knowledgeable than a more experienced knight, but it's okay because you gotta grow along with life anyway. So keep that in mind. The Page of Pentacles is in your 11th house. And in your 12th house, you got the Page of Cups. The 12th house is secrets and undoing. This is us in private. It's the things we keep locked away in the closet, the things that bring us undone. It's also karmic lessons, spirituality, where we escape in what we know subconsciously. Associations, water, cups, Pisces, Neptune. So you got the Page of Cups, which represents a child's imaginative, emotional, and poetic character. The Page of Cups is a sensitive, sympathetic individual who is easily hurt. When it occurs in a spread, this card encourages you to develop your creative side rather than being lazy or daydreaming. It's a call to action to make your dreams a reality right now. So it's possible that what could undo you is being lazy or daydreaming. And if you notice the rest of the cards in this spread, there's a hint of fantasy, that overpowering energy of Neptune. Neptune is involved with the 12th house. Neptune is in high function right now on Earth right now because of Pisces North Node. I think Pisces North Node. Neptune rules Pisces. Pisces can be very delusional. So you need to make sure you stay grounded, Taurus. But at the same time, as an earth sign, most earth signs, it's very easy to stay grounded and it's hard to get off the ground. So you do have an energy that's permeating in the world right now that's going to help you easily engage in fantasy. But at this moment, something that could lead to laziness and daydreaming is in your 12th house, which is secrets that you keep hidden, but also the possibilities of something that could undo you. So you need to stay grounded, Taurus. You need to keep having good fantasies and have a great imagination, but stay grounded. Now let's look at the advice, Jaze Oracle's advice is the Ten of Pentacles. Before we learn about the Ten of Pentacles, let's look at the tens in general. The number 10 is associated with completeness and perfection. A 10-step procedure is required for the number 9 cycle to finish. In the number 10, 1 represents the beginning and 0 represents the spirit, before returning to a new cycle of 1 again. 10 allows the current cycle of preparation to finish. In minor arcana cups and pentacles, 10 represents the pinnacle of bliss and happiness, whereas the swords and wands represent trial and tribulation. And you got the 10 of Pentacles, which is the best card in the whole tarot deck. So for the 10 of Pentacles, a well-dressed elderly man, the family patriarch, sits with 2 loyal dogs at his knee. An adjacent archway bears his coat of arms, and 2 more members of the family, a young man and woman, greet each other joyfully nearby. The image appears to be one of clan or family unity, based on many years of tradition. The spheres of the Kabbalistic tree of life are superimposed on this medieval family setting, reminding us that we are members of both a family and a community, and that while we seek physical well-being and prosperity in our daily lives, seeking spiritual fulfillment is also important. This card represents long-term success based on spiritual wisdom and understanding. The card's message is that acquiring material gain through a balanced attitude lasts for generations. The formation of sturdy foundations for families or businesses is indicated by this card. The purchase of a home, for example, or the establishment of tradition are symbolic of life's security, stability, and permanence. Family money, legacy, renewal, financial comfort. You will get used to living in luxury, but be careful not to grow complacent and overindulgent. Long-term prosperity and material contentment have been achieved according to this card. You are at ease in your own house and will be in a position or have the potential to leave a wonderful legacy to your descendants. Here's a bonus. A store, boutique, restaurant, department mall, business headquarters, office, or luxury home. So I think that what Jaze Oracle is telling you here is that you should take the advice of the 10 of Pentacles and continue to build a long, stable, luxurious life that's rooted in security that you can pass down to your descendants. Now, for the final card, which is the root energy card, which is the card at the bottom of the deck, you got the Queen of Swords. So let's take a quick look at the queens. Queens represent older, authoritative women, symbolizing their personality or profession. They denote the feminine, creative aspect of one's personality. Queens and kings do not tend to represent timing of events like the pages and knights. When they appear in a spread, they depict the personalities of people. Generally, they are depicted as noble-looking women sitting on a throne, reflecting their authority and abilities. So this Queen of Swords, which we're about to get to, depict your personality. It depicts your personality. The Queen of Swords has a solemn demeanor. Her throne is adorned with butterflies and a winged angel. In the background, notice the storm clouds and the darkening sky. Her cloak is decorated with little clouds representing her pensive nature and mental acumen. Symbolized by holding the sword firmly, her straight sword and stern face shows her determination. She depicts a woman who has suffered loss and may be alone. She could be a widow, divorced, or separated. She has loved and lost, but she knows the cycles of life. For now, she must wait, but she knows she will discover love again. She faces her pain patiently and courageously like a queen. The Queen of Swords represents a tenacious and strong-willed woman, someone who can cope with whatever life throws at her and make the best of it. In times of loss and grief, she is supportive and helpful. So, here's some key words. Lonely, which, I'm not surprised. A lot of us are. Don't feel too bad about it. This is a strange time. It's a transformative time. A lot of us are lonely and will be lonely. And we have to get used to that and move forward. Also, a mentally capable woman who overcomes obstacles. The Queen of Swords is no joke. She has the mental ability to cut through obstacles and move past them. Okay, Taurus, thank you. Thank you for being here. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did or didn't, please comment. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please share my show with other people. My show is not like other shows. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to continue doing this show this way. Things may change in the future, and I may have to do it a different way. But Jaze Oracle is here to deliver messages. I had to pause it there for a second. But Jaze Oracle is here to deliver messages to you in an honest, clear way without drowning in toxic positivity. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.